Success on YouTube is 20% strategy and 80% psychology. Why? Because if you don't have the right mindset, beliefs, and emotions that lead you to taking massive action, then you will never get results. And in this episode of the Think Marketing Podcast, we're going to specifically be talking about how to make money on YouTube and 5 money mindsets that are critical to not just succeeding on YouTube, but actually earning money and hitting your financial targets, leveraging the second most powerful search engine in the world and the #1 video platform in the world, YouTube. All of that's coming up right now on the Think Marketing Podcast.
Welcome to the Think Marketing Podcast, the #1 podcast for growing and scaling your business with online video. I'm Heather Torres.
And I'm Sean Cannell, and we're from Think Media. And if this is your first time listening, welcome.
This show is dedicated to helping you learn how to get your content noticed and the latest money-making strategies working right now online. So whether you want to grow your YouTube channel or you want to maximize video across all of social media, this podcast is for you.
I'm so fired up for today's episode because it's actually a little bit different than the past episodes that we've done here on the Think Marketing Podcast, but I believe this is going to be one of the most powerful episodes that you've heard yet because it's dealing with really the inner game and the inner foundation of true success on YouTube. You know, I heard this quote from Tony Robbins and it says this: 80% of success is due to psychology, mindset, beliefs, and emotions. Only 20% is due to strategy, the specific steps needed to accomplish a result. And while you might debate that quote, I've seen this play out time and time again. Why? Well, we're living in the information age. If information truly changed people, we'd all be healthy, wealthy, wise, rich, fit, because there's tons of information in the world. But why is that not happening? It's clearly not just the mechanics, which are critical, the 20% strategy of the right steps, the right strategies, the right tactics. But it's obviously the inner game. It's, do we have the right emotions? Do we have the right mindset? Do we have the inner framework to take action? And if you're like me, there's probably things you're procrastinating on. It's not because you don't know what to do. It's because you haven't dealt with your BS, your belief system, your inner game, your mindset, to actually take action on those things. If we simply implemented just a percentage of the information we already have, we'd probably be so much further than we are now. And in this episode of the Think Marketing Podcast, we're going to be talking about 5 money mindsets that I believe you need to succeed on YouTube and that will help you serve more people, earn more income, and have a framework for really not just having short-term financial success on YouTube, but really building legacy, building a business around your YouTube channel. Maybe you're a business owner listening to the podcast. It's going to help you think about YouTube, I think, in a different way. And maybe you're trying to make YouTube your full-time living or build it as a side hustle, or you're a business-minded content creator. In either case, you're going to get a ton of value out of this episode. Now, this episode is brought to you by the Video Ranking Academy. That's our signature online course and coaching program for YouTube. And you can learn more about it at startvra.com. That stands for Video Ranking Academy, startvra.com. And Video Ranking Academy is the session you're about to listen to is from the Academy. So you're actually getting kind of an insider look at some of the sessions in the Academy. It's a little bit different than most of them because the majority of Video Ranking Academy is about the strategy and the tactics, the mechanics of success on YouTube, our 7-step proprietary YouTube framework that we use on every single video we post, honestly, on video influencers, Think Media, Think Marketing, and it's what leads us to over 4 million views a month right now on Think Media, our main channel. And so many students, like thousands, have had success with this system. Multiple students are getting silver play buttons now. It's really crazy. And so the majority of what we talk about in the Academy is all those tips and tactics and secrets of like getting more views and subscribers. But this session, is dealing with psychology. It's actually dealing with that foundational element of success, mindset, beliefs, and emotions. So I'm excited for you to hear this session. We'll talk a little bit more about Video Ranking Academy later, but buckle your seatbelt. If you're somewhere where you can take notes, I think you're gonna love to take notes on this one. If you're driving, drive safe. If you're working out, come on, put in another rep for me right now. If you're walking your dog, give Fido a little scratch on his head and give him an extra treat later. And whatever you're doing, I'm so pumped you're here for the Think Marketing Podcast. Let's jump into this session, which is part one of 2 parts on 5 money mindsets you need to succeed. Here we go. All right, welcome back to Video Ranking Academy. I'm so excited because in this session, we're going to be talking about the mindset needed to create a high impact and high profit YouTube channel. And this is part 1. And here's why this session is so important. I said the word mindset, and I don't want you to check out here. In the past, I've thought, okay, if I just have the right tactics, if I just even have the right strategy, that's going to be enough to have success on YouTube. But one of the things I've learned is that's just not true. In fact, the 3 elements that I believe are critical for success on YouTube are, yes, strategy. What's that? I think that's the tactics, the how-tos, the tricks, the tips. And I actually think that's about 20% of success. Only 20%. Now, I think it's the tip of the spear. I think you see it at the top of the triangle. It's the thing that cuts through the noise. It's the thing that gives you the edge. It's the Video Ranking Academy system, which is the how-to, the methodologies, the wisdom. It's the tricks, right? It's the strategy. Every battle is won before it's even fought. But what I've learned is that there's missing pieces in a lot of people's lives that keep them stuck so they don't actually get results with the strategy. The next one is community. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You may have heard that you're an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I actually believe that this is 40% of the equation. You gotta be connected to people. And this could be your community of just who you're learning from and listening to. I know for me, early on, it was CDs I was listening to. Let me know in the comments if you remember CDs. Now it's all digital, it's all MP3s. I remember some tapes, come on. Now vinyl's back in trend, but it was the CDs I was listening to, the books I was reading, and it was the communities I was pursuing. That's why I went to events to work on entrepreneurship and business development and in my mindset and leadership. That's why I got around others, because I realized that who you're around matters. And it wasn't that I wasn't hanging out with my friends or spending time with family. It was that I was intentional in my life to get around the right community. Because when you're around a community that inspires you, that propels you, it helps stretch your thinking. It helps you think better. It helps you believe for more. And look, you've got a community with Video Ranking Academy. I want to encourage you, stay connected to the Facebook group. Stay posting in there. Don't think just about what you can get from that group, but what you can give to that group. Get in there. And when you're around the Think Media team and you've got Tony with his quick tips, and you've got Heather, and you've got Melissa and Alina, and you've got people in the Facebook group, myself, we're in your corner. When you've got me in your ear with this course, when you've got the Video Ranking Academy students and the interviews that we have for you, whether that's, Nicole or Steve or Andrew or Dr. iHealth or Ben, and we have the VRA show that happens every single month in the Facebook group. Look, this is a community that helps you stay motivated, helps you stay inspired, helps you keep focused on the vision. I think that's about 40%. 40% of success is having a foundation of having people around you that are going to help keep you focused, keep you inspired. The Bible's clear about this, right? This is ancient wisdom. Iron sharpens iron. But that means you got to get around some iron. You got to get around some coaching. I remember one person, it wasn't iron sharpens wood. Iron destroys wood. It was iron sharpens iron. That means it hurts. Sparks fly. There's a little bit of grinding on there. That's what I'm here for, is to kind of coach you and to cut you and to challenge you and to say you were built for more, you were made for more, and this is possible, but you got to stick with it. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to be willing to change. You might have to change your mindset, your beliefs. You're going to have to learn something new. You're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. You're going to have to punch fear in the face, punch perfectionism in the face. You're going to have to press record every single week and do your 7 R's. That's what you get in community. And that's why I need you staying connected to the course, listening, staying connected to the Facebook group. But look, I don't believe that all of that's enough. I think that the final piece is psychology. That's the mindset and the confidence piece. I believe that's another 40%. Listen, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. That's true. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Look, the strategy was there all along. The framework was there. The phone was in front of you, or you're watching this on the phone. The microphone for the phone was in the other room, or in your drawer, or in the garage, or it's on Amazon.com for $20. And there's no excuse for it not to be at your house on a tripod plugged in and you recording videos, except the battlefield of your own mind, your mindset, your psychology. And so that's why we created the Camera Confidence course. And that's why we are obsessed that this is the most comprehensive and best YouTube training program on the planet, because it has all three elements. This is why we want you staying in the group, staying connected, staying in the monthly Q&As. Well, Sean, I think I've heard the tips before. Well, are you doing them? Well, Sean, I think I've heard that strategy before. Well, is it being implemented on your channel? Repetition is the father of learning and the mother of mastery. So you need the repetition, right? Strategy, psychology, community. So this is why we're talking about mindset. And when it comes to money, your money mindset matters. It's why your confidence matters. Because when you have confidence and the right mindset and the right people around you and the right strategies, you're unstoppable. Because you keep taking action. Because it's not that you don't make mistakes. The people who succeed fail the most. Increase your failure rate. Put out more bad videos. The average successful entrepreneur, I read this stat, has 2.6 failed businesses. That means most successful business owners have had either 2 or 3 or 4 failed businesses. So you think, well, how would that be possible? They failed so much. That's why they are winning now. Because sometimes you win, but sometimes you learn. They learn more than anybody else. But the only reason they got up again, and the only reason they didn't quit, is because of psychology. Probably because of the community that was around them. And then they retooled the strategy and took massive action. So when we're talking about revenue, remember, influence comes first, income comes second. But you need money for the mission. So I want you to be bold, confident, passionate, and assertive to say, I'm going to make money. I'm okay with making money. Money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is. That's greed. Money is the root of good vacations. Come on. I mean, but for real, money is a tool that can accomplish whatever purpose we assign to it. The same money that is used to exploit and harm women in sex trafficking, that same money could be used to build homes and shelters and school for people to learn and to be safe and to build families. We can think that the money is evil. The money is a tool. Money is amoral. And I know you have a powerful mission. You are a purpose-driven entrepreneur. So you need money for the mission. So I need your boldness and your confidence and your assertiveness to pursue income ethically by serving others to be foundational into everything that you're doing. You need money for the mission. And we got to think different. So in this session, I'm going to give you 5, and in the next session, I'll give you 5 more. Money mindsets that have helped me in the journey. Money mindsets that have helped me in my timing of influence comes first, income comes second. Money mindsets that have helped me as a business owner. And money mindsets that are assuredly related to building our influence on YouTube, all right? Number 1, there's only one way to make money. Finding out what other people want or need, and then providing those things to as many of our fellow humans as possible. That's it. There is only one way to earn money. Okay? No matter your occupation. So why does this matter? This is Video Ranking Academy. What is Video Ranking Academy about? It's about reverse engineering and starting with the end in mind. What is the problem that you solve? Who do you serve and what problem do you solve for them? What do other people need? What do they want to watch? What do they want to learn? What kind of content are they looking for? This is, do you think about the audience first? There's only one way to make money. You find out what other people need. So in terms of your YouTube channel, again, you might apply these strategies to your current niche. You might pivot your niche to better align with this truth of the universe, or you might even start an entirely new YouTube channel. Because assuredly you should start with the end in mind. This is what reverse engineer your revenue is all about. What do other people want? Like, what do they want to watch? This is how you start a YouTube automation channel. What is popular? This is why we do keyword research. What is the search volume? Now, you might say, well, Sean, but I wanted to talk about what I wanted to talk about. Well, then you do you, boo. Do whatever you want. This program's here to make you successful and help you discover the right video ideas that will get views. Now, the goal is to align that with your calling, passions. I'm not going to have a successful YouTube channel teaching people to sing, even though people want to learn how to sing, because I can't sing. So there's an alignment to it, but these are foundational money mindsets. Dare I say that if you violate these principles, that you'll probably lose at making money as it pertains to YouTube. So the key is, what do people want? What do they need? And then you want to provide those things to, look, as many fellow people as possible. Think about this too. This is amazing. This is serving people. When people want stuff, they need stuff, and you give it to them. Wow, you made me laugh. Wow, you helped me learn something. Wow, you made that less complex. Wow, I was afraid. Now I've got confidence. Wow, I was worried about that first year of pregnancy, but man, you were a friend for me online. You helped me solve that. You see how powerful this is? This is just money mindset number one, and I want you applying all of these. Now listen, why YouTube channels fail. One of the main reasons businesses and YouTube channels fail is a lack of market need. Okay? The example we use, although I'm actually confident you could succeed at this, but if you were to create an underwater basket weaving YouTube channel, I did the keyword research in Uber Suggest. About 6,000 people a month want to watch a channel about underwater basket weaving. Here's the question. Is there enough market need if you want to make revenue from that? Now, if you've got 12 kids and you live in Manhattan in a 2,000 square foot, it's probably not even big enough, a 3,000 square foot apartment in downtown Manhattan, and you're going to support yourself with an underwater basket weaving YouTube channel, there's probably not a big enough market, probably not enough people, there's probably not enough to ultimately be able to sustain the vision that you have or the income targets that you have. All I'm telling you to do is research and work backwards of how much market need is there for what you have. I'm not even saying market competition. Competition's good. If zillions of people are interested in that thing, well, it's probably a good market to be in. There's a lot of competitors. Well, yeah, there's also a lot of people there. If nobody's there, you don't want to open up a store in Death Valley where there's no power, no water, and no people except driving through and trying to get out of the heat. You're like, well, there's no competition. You're like, well, yeah, but there's also no people. And so this is just one of the main reasons businesses fail. There's a lack of market need. There's not enough market need, or the niche, your value proposition is not clear enough that the market even understands they need it. Okay. Number two, the law of income. You get paid in direct proportion to the amount of value you deliver to the marketplace. So your income will always be related to the amount of value you deliver to the marketplace. So answer this question as you're taking notes and journaling. Why is your video valuable? What value is it delivering to the end user? How can you deliver more value than the competition? What is the unique value that you add? What even is the value you add? Very simple and often overlooked question. Why should someone watch your YouTube video? And how can you stack value in your video? For example, maybe there is competition, but you might say you're going to be able to get the answer faster. In 5 minutes or less, I do what's taking everybody else 30 minutes in their videos. Where do you think fast food came from? We needed food anyways. It was like, what, I could actually get it fast? Now it's synonymous for unhealthy, but like the speed is the value. Just drive up, boom, you got the food. because there's better food to get, but it's not as fast. What's the value you provide? And the level of value. So by the way, so these are my mindsets that I was adopting, that I was learning, and that I now have seen catapulted us to the results that we're getting today in our business. Was our goal was to just deliver an absurd amount of value. Now, if you're here and we're connected, let me know in the comments, did you receive an absurd or a high level of value from me, maybe before you even did business with me? Think about that process and how that happened. Our income is good. We support now multiple people in our business. It's based on this law of income. We just thought, man, if we give massive value, and if I try to learn everything I can, put out the best videos I can, give out the best free information I can, stay up researching, and again, if you wing it, like if you put 5 minutes of research into a video, well, then that's about 5 minutes of value, isn't it? Like if I'm reviewing a camera. But if I watch 5 videos, read the blogs, and then also do this for 15 years, it's just a depth of value. These are commitments I've made and understood that, wow, your income goes up the more value you deliver to a specific marketplace. I am not helping women with pregnancy. Like that's just not something that I've been helping. It's not a value I have to give, right? So you have a unique value, but the amount of value you give, your income will go up. Number 3, your financial success is directly related to the size of the problem you solve for other people. Solve big problems, you'll make big money. So listen, 2 things. The size of the problem. Oftentimes, this law is applied to the size of the problem in terms of if you're going to be a checker or a bagger at a grocery store, the level of skill needed is paid a certain amount per hour, and that's what that wage is. If you're going to be the manager of the store, you're paid at a higher level, but you have a whole nother level of expectations. You have to manage the inventory, you have to manage the SKUs, you have to manage, profit and loss of like, did the produce go bad and all that. You got a lot else to manage and you're paid more for it. That's the size of the problem. But listen, it's also the market size, the amount of people that have the problem as it pertains to YouTube. So again, we go back to saying, if you want to have big money on YouTube, you want to solve a problem, a clear problem for potentially a large amount of people. So I had to do the math. Like when I was thinking with Amazon affiliates, I was like, okay, can I help a lot of people with cameras, with lenses, with these types of things, learn what I've learned in video, my background since 2003, getting started in video at a church. It's actually somewhat of a complex problem. I thought about it like this. Whenever I go to Best Buy, no hate on most people that work on Best Buy, but when I go to the computer area or Fry's, now this might be like an unfair advantage, like, I don't know, Street Fighter, like what Mortal Kombat. I'm trying to think of like Sean Cannell walks in, but I walk in a lot of times to the computer department and the salesperson starts talking and I'm like, bro, dude, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like you don't know your stuff. Like I know more than you. Maybe that's not fair, but like this is your job. Like your job is to know what's going to be right for me. How fast should that RAM be? How fast is that monitor? I remember one guy was trying to sell me a computer with an SSD drive that only had like 100 gigabytes on it. I was like, bro, by the time I install like half of my software, this thing will be, and he didn't even know what I was talking about. Well, so he was in over his head in the job. Here's my thing. You got to know your stuff. You got to think about the size of the problem you solve. And so I realized that when I went to Best Buy to hear about cameras, I was like, dude, a lot of these people aren't even educated about their job in the camera department. So I just thought, man, I got to know my stuff on Think Media. And people have the problem of what camera do I use, right? What do I need to know? What's this one versus that one? So that's a certain size of a problem. But then I also realized, well, Best Buy employees, they'll make hourly wage, but they don't get commission last time I checked. And I don't get paid an hourly wage. Like nobody's motivating me or paying me, but I get paid by Amazon, but I only get 4%, which is cool, but it's not that much. It might go down because Amazon does change their rates. So then I was like, man, there needs to be a certain volume of people. Like I'm helping people, but my way of like getting any kind of value out of this transaction is on a one-to-one basis, it's not going to help me feed my son that's coming, or it's not going to help me feed Sonia. So I need this thing to scale up. My wife, Sonia, right? And so it's just knowing that's TAM, total addressable market. Just how big's the market? This is the keyword research. How many people are in this niche? How many people have this problem? How many people want this thing? How many people are potentially after this, right? So the size of the problem, doctors or brain surgeons get paid a lot of money. That's a very complex problem, and they've learned a certain skill. So that's one way they're compensated, but also the size of the market. Here, let me summarize. High ticket, low volume. High ticket, meaning you only have a few customers and it's very expensive to work with you. Like, imagine this. If you did some sort of a freelance coaching or consulting business and it cost $10,000 to work with you, but you served the client for an entire month and you only did 12 clients a year, you just have $120,000 income in a year. Kind of like you only need 12 people. How many customers do you need? 12. I got a couple hundred views on my YouTube channel, but I only need 12 customers. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Or I'm going to talk about pop sockets, and I need like 1 million kids to like buy 13-year-olds, like to hit the age limit of because you have to be 13 to be on YouTube technically, and I'm sure kids set up and so size of the problem, like volume, so market size or size of the problem. These are just money mindsets and money principles for reverse engineering your revenue. Number 4, money is the consequence of serving and providing value to other human beings. It's not the goal. This is a mindset that served me. It's very powerful. Money is a consequence of serving and providing value for other human beings. It's not the goal. So my attitude and my spirit that I've tried to protect, and I think it's important, your heart, your mind, your spirit, your motivation, has been, look, I need money for the mission. But if I believe this to be true, and I have no doubt about this to be a universal truth, I'm a man of faith, and I know that God wove this into the fabric of the universe, that when we provide value to other human beings, when we serve and help others, that it will be impossible for that to not return to us. Like he that is generous will be refreshed. Like that when you're generous with your time, your energy, your money, you still got to be smart. Because by the way, we have other laws. They all build on each other. But you see what I'm saying? So that we're not saying, okay, I'm doing this with the goal of exploiting or trying to get something, or like it's purely transactional. We're saying, no, I am just going to serve and add value to another human being. And then, because I know the consequence will be that money will come to me. Of course, you have to eventually sell something or else people can't give you money. And we have future laws and money mindsets about that. Does that make sense? But this is huge for me. Like, it's just the consequence. So therefore, I just am committed to building my influence. And let me be clear about that. My belief in building your influence, because building your influence, you could think that's for you. But my personal belief, this is mindset, is that John Maxwell said, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Like leadership is influence. What is leadership? It's influence. It's simply leading somebody else. And the greatest leader to me is much more than that, but the greatest leader I think that's ever lived is Jesus Christ. And he taught us something called servant leadership. It's a different style of leadership. It's a style of rather than being served and ruling over others, his example was to wash his disciples' feet. So money is a consequence of serving and providing values to others. So what does it mean to build your influence? It was just that the way I'm going to build my influence is by giving, by being generous, by serving, by providing value. And that if I do that, and I'm going to do it over time, I will until then money will come to me. I'll be honest, I might have even went so much to an extreme where I was like a little too almost philanthropic, which I don't know if you could be, but I actually think you could be. It helped me to learn some of these other things that no, you need money for the mission. But I hope this serves you, because I believe if you carry this spirit into YouTube, you can build a legacy of serving people, of providing value. And then money's not the goal, but it's assuredly the result of when you serve and you provide value. Money mindset number 5, to serve people, You must first get to know them. You must understand their wants and needs. Okay? Powerful. This is Video Ranking Academy. Think from the customer's point of view. I want you to write that down. I want you thinking from the customer's point of view. I want you thinking from the viewer's point of view. What do you think the viewer thinks? What's the viewer think about that hook, the way you open the video? What's the viewer think about the content? Is that a waste of the viewer's time? What's the viewer think about that information? What's the viewer think about the audio? What's the viewer think about how organized the content is? What's the viewer think? Do you think about the viewer first or not? A lot of people approach YouTube, hey, what up? You know, I'm excited to start my channel. And I want you to just punch fear in the face and start. But like 100 videos in. So today I just kind of felt like talking about my thoughts, man. What's been on my mind. You're like, okay, well, what value is that adding to the audience? Or today my wife and I were going on, and there's nothing against travel vloggers, but we talked to Gary Vaynerchuk about this, and he said this. He said 99% of people are making selfish content on YouTube. Benji went to Gary Vaynerchuk's office in New York, and he said, what's the biggest mistake people make? He said 99% of content creators are making selfish content. He's like, you wanted to go travel and film it and make a living off of it. He said, what value does that provide to the audience? You can be a travel vlogger. You could be a travel educator. It's just, do you think about the audience first or don't you? People understand this stuff. They feel it. You know, if you're truly like working on your craft, come on, Kevin Hart, Joe Rogan. Like I think about people who've worked on their craft they spend a whole year to make one comedy routine to entertain and serve people so that people will laugh. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, highest paid actor in Hollywood, also the hardest working. Like, it's crazy, the work ethic. He wants to serve people, entertain people. So if you want to serve and win on YouTube, you want to think from the customer's point of view. I just want you thinking about the viewer first. Like, if you're thinking about the viewer and if you are understanding them and thinking about the customer, you're going to win. And to serve them, though, you got to get to know them. So you got to understand their wants and needs. This is why this is why you just don't make videos that you want to make or title the videos the way you think you should title them. You're doing the due diligence to think, how would they say that? How would they search that in the search bar? I'm doing the keyword research and I'm researching blogs and I'm paying attention to trends and I'm doing my due diligence because I'm digging deep to find out what people's needs and wants and emotions and feelings are, because then I'm creating content to serve others. Dude, how are you going to lose on YouTube if that's what you're doing? See how powerful this is? And here's why YouTube channels fail is they are not really in touch with customers through deep dialogue. Write this down. If you have YouTube videos, play them for friends and family members. Okay, don't even do that, because if you have somebody who will tell you the truth, like, so if they're a friend who's like kind of critical, that's actually probably a good friend. Like even a hater, like let them pick your video apart. Not your mom, because your mom would be like, honey, it's so good. The video is amazing. You're like, okay, well, she's not really your audience. You got to get honest feedback about your content. You got to be willing to just get better. This is not to overwhelm you. It's not for you to be discouraged. It's not for you to be like, dear God, I got a long way to go. It's about getting 1% better with every upload. But you got to get in touch with your customers. And here's why businesses fail and YouTube channels fail. They don't actually really understand the viewer. They're not really in touch. One of the best ways to understand the viewer is to talk to them. Like literally get on the phone with them. You got like 25 people in your audience, find a way to like get on the phone with them. Hey, how could the videos be better? What's going on about it? Like doing the work. This is why send out a tweet, post on the community tab. What videos do you want to see from me? How could I make my videos better? What do you think the best businesses do? Hey, how can we make this product better? If you want your smartphone company to make the smartphone better and you want to give them feedback, then why aren't you willing to hear feedback about your YouTube channel? If you want to have a stronger marriage, don't you need to get feedback and change some things and be willing to say you're sorry and you got to be willing to have deep dialogue about real issues so change can be made, so that a difference can actually happen in someone else's lives. So the reason, though, a lot of businesses fail, again, they're out of touch. Again, why does the restaurant owner come out and say, how was the meal? It was pretty good. Bread was great. Drinks were great. Salmon was kind of dry. They listen, they think, shoot, man, we got to change our process. They don't go, like, you have good taste. Don't you know that dry salmon is the way? Like, if we don't have the attitude of service, humility, willingness to change, willingness to have deep dialogue with our customers, with our viewers, even if that's one person, and get 1% better, then we are probably not going to make it on YouTube. So here's my question to you. Which of these money mindsets do you need to work on in your life? What was your aha moment from this session so far? If you're watching the video podcast on YouTube, tell me in the comments below. And if you're listening to this on podcast, maybe just think about that or even write it down. What was an unlock, an aha moment for you out of these? These mindsets over the years have been really the framework and the foundation of success on YouTube. And it is what has helped me build financial freedom, a 5-figure, high 5, 6, high 6, 7-figure, multiple 7-figure business. Step by step, brick by brick. This was the psychology, the framework. And guess what? This is just part 1. So next week on the Think Marketing podcast, we're going to talk about 5 more money mindsets. And so make sure that you're subscribed wherever you're listening to this. And if you got value today, hit the like button or share this with somebody or pass it along to maybe somebody else that is looking to create extra streams of income, that's looking to pivot their plan, maybe a business owner that is looking to leverage YouTube, somebody that you think would love the Think Marketing podcast. Shoot them a text, shoot them a tweet, shoot them a WhatsApp, shoot them a messenger, shoot them a Snapchat message, shoot them a TikTok. I don't know if you can do that, but definitely it would mean the world to us if you shared it. Listen, today's episode was brought to you by Video Ranking Academy. And if you want to learn more about Video Ranking Academy, this session came right out of the Academy. You can go to startvra.com to see our best offer for that program. If you want not just this psychology, the inner game, the mindset, but you also want community. It's Video Ranking Academy includes a private Facebook group, and it's the most powerful community online for people that are purpose-driven entrepreneurs that are wanting to build their influence and income with YouTube. You don't just get the private Facebook group. You don't just get the world-class online course that you can access from anywhere on the app, on a computer, on your iPad, and all the step-by-step training. But you also, right now, at the time of recording this podcast, get 2 tickets to our event, Grow with Video Live, included in our special offer that we have there. There's a few other bonuses. There's the Facebook group. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can, of course, check out the show notes or the YouTube description, but go to startvra.com. And our offer at this time is over 80% off on the entire bundle of training, tickets to our event, and all the other bonuses that you get there. And that changes from time to time, but we're running an incredible special right now. And so if you're ready to crush it with YouTube and not just to get the right psychology, get your mind right, be connected to a powerful community. Come on, be surrounded with purpose-driven entrepreneurs in the private Facebook group, in the monthly group Q&A coaching, which you get for life, by the way. Like, once you get lifetime access to this program, we do coaching calls every month. We have the VRA show with Tony every month where we have different interviews with tactics and tips from students. Man, we've got the tip of the week with Tony's tip of the week. It's crazy of everything that's happening. So anyways, go to startvra.com to see all the details and get 80% off of enrollment right now for our signature YouTube course and coaching program. That brings us to the comment, I should say review of the day. Having over 15 years in marketing, I still learn valuable nuggets from Sean and his team every day. His unwavering faith comes through as a voice of truth and is so refreshing to have a grounded team that shares their values together in all areas of life. Clarity is key, and being clear is Sean's biggest strength. This podcast will change your life. Subscribe to it, and you won't be sorry. And more importantly, punch fear in the face and get going. My man, Feldhaus, appreciate you. Glad you've been punching fear in the face and appreciate the kind words. Listen, if you've been loving the Think Marketing podcast, whether you're new here, welcome. Whether you've been here since episode 1, thanks so much for being here. If you haven't left a review and rated the podcast on Apple iTunes, it's actually one of the most powerful ways you could say thank you for the value that we are sharing every single week for free. By the way, if you've just been listening on audio and you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, There's bonus videos, live streams, Q&As, and things that we do on the Think Marketing YouTube channel. So if you just type in Think Marketing in the YouTube search bar or youtube.com/Think Marketing, you can get not just the video podcast version, but a lot of extra videos as well. But thanks so much for that review. And if you would do a review, that would be amazing. And if you could think of somebody to share this with and, share, like, comment, pass it along. We're on a mission to help 10,000 people, 10,000 purpose-driven entrepreneurs create a full-time living doing what they love while making a difference in the world with YouTube and online video, and then sustaining that success without losing their soul, creating the life and habits and principles to sustain that success. Why? Because sometimes people grow big businesses, they get some success. We see it on social media, right? You see a social media influencer, they break down. You see someone's marriage break down, and listen, you're not ever going to get judgment from us. We understand that we all go through hard seasons in life, and our friends who go through hard seasons, we stand with them. But what we've learned is that sometimes success can be one of the hardest things to steward. And so not only do we want to help you become wildly successful so you can support your family, give generously, give to the causes that matter to you, but we also want to help you achieve success without losing your soul, which simply means that we don't climb the mountain, reach the top of the mountain, only to realize we climbed the wrong mountain. Or we got to the top, but everyone that mattered most in our life was left behind. I stole my definition for what is true success from John Maxwell. And it's simply this, that at the end of my life, I want the people closest to me to love and respect me the most. I'll admit, I've got to work for different organizations. I've been behind the scenes and seen a lot of leaders in different industries and entrepreneurship and ministry and church. And I've seen a lot of good things and a lot of bad things. And I've seen a lot of public success, but sometimes I've seen private lives that were not going so well. And again, I really was just making an observation. I got my own problems. I'm not trying to cast judgment, but I am paying attention. And I don't want to reach the end of my life. At the time of recording this, my wife, Sonia, is 26 weeks pregnant with Sean Bradley. Sean, my first name, Bradley, her dad's first name, Cannell the second. Come on, legacy. I don't want to reach the end of my life and have tons of success on YouTube, millions in the bank, and my kids never saw me and I never connected with them. I don't want to reach the end of my life and I sacrifice my health on the journey. I don't want to reach the end of my life and my friends go, he was kind of a jerk behind the scenes, man. He was, it's just kind of hard to be around. I mean, he projected one image online, but man, behind the scenes, he was just super grumpy. He wasn't super happy. It's kind of, that's the idea of you have external success at the loss of your soul. So that's our vision and our dream here at Think Media, is to help you be wildly successful. And we believe you can have both. And we believe that if you get into a hard season, and recently there was a couple who teach on marriage and have a marriage podcast and have a huge platform, and some of the most successful people in personal development announced they're going through a divorce. And look, no judgment, but we need to have observation. And it's like, man, even up into the last couple of weeks before it was like, man, everything's cool and we're making out and everything's good. It might have been. I don't know. Sometimes things can turn quickly, but typically that's not how it goes. Typically cracks in the foundation started long before they manifest in maybe some extreme thing. It's some pretty heavy stuff at the end of the Think Marketing podcast, but what's the point of all this? It's simply saying that we're on a mission to help 10,000 people create a full-time living doing what they love with online video, and then sustain that success by building a life and having the purpose and practices and principles for sustaining that success and true success in all areas. We want to be world-class entrepreneurs, not just in finances, but in health. Come on, in legacy, in generosity, in family, in all these different areas. And by the way, we have not got this thing figured out. Heather Torres, Sean Cannell, Sonia Cannell, Isaiah Torres, Melissa Caputo, Tony Ariola, Omar El Takori. We're on the journey with you. But that's our value system, is that if we got to go a little bit slower, but we can bring our families with us, we're not going to leave our families behind. Come on. We do not want to gain the world, but sacrifice the things that matter most. So that's what we're all about here at Think Media. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this podcast, and thank you for being a part of this community. And I don't know how we even got in all of that, and I think I'm violating some kind of podcast rule to still be talking at this point and not ending quick and being brief and bright and fun and be done. But this is what happens when Heather is on vacation with family, taking some time off, and when I'm running the podcast when she should be. Come on, Heather, where are you at? I'm talking 40 minutes too long because I have maybe a reputation of being a little long-winded at times. But for real, I mean, we believe in running really hard, working really hard, but we believe in family, man. We believe in taking time off, and we believe in a healthy pace. Pace is a big thing for entrepreneurs. Pace is a big thing for slow and steady wins. You know, I don't want to have beanpole success. I don't want to spring up quick and have a couple years of rapid success. We've seen too much of that on social media. It's actually like there's a devastating landscape of people that like, overnight success or like 15 minutes of fame and then boom, they crash and burn. I'd rather grow slow and steady. Think Media is not about get rich quick. It's about build wealth for sure over the long haul. That's biblical. That's proverbial. That's Proverbs. I don't think proverbial is the same as Proverbs. Okay. Hey, the Think Marketing Podcast. Thanks so much for being here. Rate, review, share. And as we close, you know how we end. #action takers. We talked about a lot today. That might have been a few other things that we got into, but I think that was some mindset stuff as well. That's the inner game, right? The foundation game, the beliefs, the values, the core that drives us. And my question to you is, what do you need to do next? What do you need to take action on? What do you need to put into practice? Which of these money mindsets was an aha moment for you today? Drop a comment, write it in your journal, calendar block it. Hey Siri, hey Alexa, remind me to shoot that video, record that podcast, call that person, hire that person, outsource that thing, write that email. I don't know what you need to do, but I know you need to take action, because taking massive action is where you get massive results. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being a part of the Think Marketing Podcast. Don't miss next week for part 2 of these 5 money mindsets needed to succeed. And until then, keep crushing it, keep smashing it, and we will talk soon. Peace.